these people, something's wrong with them. Yeah. Likely the lawyer disease. It goes back to the Bible, not the lawyer. I'm just calling it the lawyer disease because in the Bible, the lawyers, the experts, they tested Jesus a lot. And Jesus knew that what they were doing, obviously. And really what they wanted to know was, what do I have to do to get into the eternal kingdom? These were the educated. These were they were the experts. So they thought they could earn their way into heaven. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And it makes sense why it doesn't work, because it's not genuine. So like some of the lawyers and the lawyers back in Jesus's days were like your church elders, your church leaders. You know, the same people that put the man speaking truth to death. Their questions may have been genuine, but they wanted to justify, they wanted to find loopholes, much like lawyers like to do. Find loopholes around things, and they think they can find justification around even Jesus. So the reason I say this is because, Jenna Ellis, who has also now pled guilty, well, yes, she is guilty. She bashed Trump supporters before 2016, and then all of a sudden changed, and then in September 2023 was calling Trump a malignant narcissist, and his Trump supporters, all the names we've all heard. So she's obviously unbalanced, okay? And the reason I say she's unbalanced, well, for one, is because she brings it on the heels of her Christian faith meaning so much to her. Okay. Yeah, I call bullshit on that. I just do. Yeah, because I get if you're new in your faith, you have that trouble discerning and stuff, but yet you don't do some of the stuff she's done. And yet she's been in the DC circuit for a while, so that should tell you a lot right there. So this is the way this all works, because then you got that Sidney Powell there in the background, who was never Trump's lawyer, but was, we all know what happened in 2020, but what these people do, okay, what these people do ultimately is they hurt truth, which that's what they're designed to do. Of course, she took a plea deal. So did Sidney Powell. And I see some people saying, oh, well, they had to because of expenses. No, I think they planned to all along. I don't think they've been on the side of truth. Okay? Nothing these people say in court change. Jesus spoke very much about, using logic and common sense, okay? But the people that like to use loopholes are lawyers, many of them, and experts, to get around what is obviously truthful. Trump had, leading up to the election of 2020, leading up, he's had more since then. But his biggest rally, which I think was one of his last going into November 2020, was 50,000 people at a rally. That's like unheard of for a presidential rally. But prior to that, he had 25,000 pretty regularly. Joe Biden could barely get 30, and likely they were all just paid. 30. So that alone it tells you. There's a reason that Trump says they never want to show his crowds at his rallies, because they don't want you to see the numbers, because then you might use logic here. So I don't care what these people plead guilty to. I'm sure he'll be next, and who knows? There's many others. Trump supported himself with these people that are just not right in the head. They're not. But the way they work is to destroy truth. So while they say they stand for truth and they want to prove this truth, and they go on all of the mainstream media and talk about what how they know Donald Trump won and they carry on in such a way. What they're really doing, it may seem to you like they wouldn't say that then. No, they would, because then it comes to this point where now they're pleading guilty. So you're made to think you're a schmuck. No, we know what, it doesn't matter what any of these lawyers or any of these counties say, okay? Obvious logic here, okay? Obvious logic. Is there anything you can do about it? Well, this is why Jesus spoke about his law being more important. Yeah, in his law, the supreme law, his law isn't really liked here. This looks like a cutout, a cardboard cutout she's standing next to. Because it's a common picture you see. I may be wrong, I tend to think so. Yeah, I think that's how manipulative the game is played, how manipulative the whole system is. All these people, they've walked within the swamp circles. Yeah. No, I think it was all planned that they would get arrested, and it's to discredit Donald Trump, and none of it does discredit him. But the ones that, they're so Christian. Yeah, again, I call bullshit. So this is important to understand that the people of this world, most of the people in this world don't get when it comes to the true God. God, yet for the purpose of the law, was to shut every mouth. Jesus knew their hearts. That's what's key, the heart. He knew that when the law has done its work in the heart of a man or woman, they will come asking for mercy, not for direction on what good things they could do to gain eternal life. We see this quite often in the Gospels. If a person comes by the law, Jesus answers them with the law. If they come by grace, they receive grace. We are 2,000 years on, but man still hasn't learned this essential truth. No, man has not. It's about the heart. See, Jesus didn't even care. Before the heart is changed, not that if you do good works, it's bad. But it's the story of the Good Samaritan. So somebody was beaten and robbed and left, and this still goes on today, left laying on the side of the road, and a ton of people will drive by or walk by, and they will justify it. Oh, well, that's a dangerous area. Oh, well, I don't know, they could hurt me. Justify it in their head, and you think you're justifying it will be seen as okay in God's eyes. No. Because you have to do what Jesus would have done. And we all fall short. So, there's nobody perfect at this. But this is what the lawyers and the elders of the church and so many people don't ever get, is it's about the heart. So here's how you know you don't want people like the elites with all their money, like Soros and all the many others, controlling the world. And here's why. Because if they had good hearts, they would have long ago done good things with their money. What has George Soros done with his money? He has spent billions of dollars creating color revolutions in countries to cause destruction and division. Yeah, Jesus spoke about those that cause division. But if his heart was in the right place, then he has so much money he could buy a country with. Think about all of the people he really could have helped. But that really only would happen when Jesus has changed your heart. And then you're walking under his law. And this world and the laws of this world won't like that. Jesus, who was the true Good Samaritan, who went out of his way to save mankind, Jesus didn't cross over to the other side of the road. He saw the problem and didn't look for someone else to sort the problem. He made no excuses. He counted the cost, and knowing it would cost him his very life, gave up all to bring us back to God. It's the heart. God judges by the heart and nothing else.